your socks! Hey!
The Lost Art with Andrew Cox podcast. Marine Corps League and Till Valhalla Project Ambassador. Now streaming on all major podcast platforms. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast as giving a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art with Andrew Cox. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art podcast. That podcast giving a voice to our veterans. I'm your host, Andrew Cox, and today you get me, and we're going to have some discussions. But before we get into the episode, or you enjoying the podcast, then make sure you go to the website. That's the lostart.podbean.com. Go check us out. See what we're all about. If there's any way you can help us and getting our veteran voices out for all to hear, it would be much appreciated. A big shout out to the Till Valhalla Project out there doing amazing work. If you don't know anything about that amazing organization, go to their website, check them out. And if there's any way you can help them, it would be an incredible thing for them. But go to tillvalhallaproject.com. And for all you Marines out there that have gotten out, those FMF sailors that might be out there, well, there's a place for you. That's right. It's the Marine Corps League. Go to their website. That's mcleague.org. Are you a Marine veteran? Are you missing that bond you had on active duty? Then I have a place for you. Join the only congressionally chartered Marine Corps Veteran Service Organization, the Marine Corps League. Get that brother and sisterhood back in your life. Become one of the fewer, the prouder, a Marine Corps League member. All right. So I'm sitting here talking to you today. Just going to do one, just me. And I want to talk a little bit about perseverance and, leaving the sanctity of what it was that we had in the military and kind of really that structured part of our life and have our buddies next to us. And it was, for most of us, was pretty easy. And it was very comforting having that. And the longer you've been in, the harder it may be. It has been difficult transition for me. It's been a year that I've actually been out, a little over a year now, but it hasn't been perfect. You know, I always try to keep a positive attitudes and say that retirement's wonderful and things like that. And for the most part, it is. But I got to tell you, I've struggled with all kinds of things, but we got to talk about perseverance. You know, it's crucial for veterans in transitioning to civilian life. Uh, it requires resilience to overcome challenges and build a new life. It includes adapting to new environments, seeking support, and leveraging skills gained in the military to succeed. And these are all things that you've learned. These are all things that we've done in the military. We've relied on our buddies, we relied on our commands and things of that nature. But now, you're kind of on your own and you got to look out and seek and figure things out. But there's still people there to help, you gotta always kind of remember that. I want to do the definition of perseverance. Perseverance is not giving up. It is persistence and tenacity, the effort required to do something and keep doing it till the end, even if it's hard. So, when you think about the definition of it, it's continuing on, even when things get tough. It's figuring out a way to continue to push and to overcome obstacles and barriers or whatever's put in your way. And it's that is the part that you really have to think about hard and really concentrate on, and just to continue to push even when it's hard. That's something that we learn in the military, and that's something that we usually do really well at. But like I was saying before, once you're on your own, it's a different story. Um, and that transition, it is not an easy transition. I had an incredibly difficult time. I got out and I thought, oh man, it's going to be easy sailing. It's going to be, nothing difficult. I wasn't looking for a job or anything like that. Anyways, I had this podcast going. I was like, oh man, this would be great. And, as time went on, I realized that, hey, not everything was perfect. And I struggled not having that safety net of the military there to help me through things. I didn't realize how much going to work every day and talking to your fellow Marines or your fellow soldiers, sailors, airmen, you know, that that alone is almost like a therapy session every day. You could go in and you could, oh man, I got this going on or that going on, and you sit and you talk to your friends and you know, and then all of a sudden you're gone and you don't have that anymore. You don't have that structure and those individuals there that you can rely on. uh, whether that be they have to listen to you because they're part of their command or they listen to you because they're friends. Either way, you don't really have that anymore. And there are individuals that I reach back out to there, and because it was easy, but it's not always, they're not always available. It's not like when you're working with them and you're right there and you can just talk and do things and, make life easy. But that's one of the things that I really really struggled with. And if you already deal with things like PTSD or you deal with that depression and anxiety and all those things that unfortunately sometimes the military gives us, this can be incredibly challenging. You have ups, you have downs, you have all these different things, and man, it can be just huge, huge. I have anxiety, I have depression, I have all that stuff. I have to take medication for it. I'm not too proud to sit here and say that. I'm not perfect, but man, it is even bigger swings than I had when I was on active duty. And man, it can get overwhelming. And I sit here, even right now, I'm doing this podcast and I'm talking about this, and man, I'm struggling. I look at where I am and what I'm doing, and now I'm questioning things. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing things the right way? And my relationship has struggled a little bit because of it. Because I don't know, it's different now, and we're not talking as much as we used to, type of thing. And you know, those are things I'm dealing with, and it is stressful. And I don't think mentally I'm where I need to be. I'm not asking for help. I'm not throwing that out there to say I need a lot of help or anything, but I'm just saying that it happens to everybody, and I'm going through that too. And it has been a very difficult thing. You add on top of just the relationship aspect, just the getting out. I'm not really working, I'm not doing anything, but think about the individuals that get out. Now they're searching for a job. They're trying to find employment, they're trying to fit in there. And that is not an easy task. When you look at the different things, different places that you go in these organizations, you're not always going to fit in perfect with them. And, there's a certain way that the civilian sector does things, and it is different. It is definitely different. And, for some of us, especially if we've been in for 25 plus years, 30 years, 20 years, something like that, we get used to the way we talk, the way we do things. And in the civilian sector, that is not necessarily kosher. Our sense of humor, right, everyone says our dark sense of humor, those types of things does not go over well, but we have to keep pushing. We have to figure that out. And that can be an incredibly overwhelming thing. Um, you know, you may have to learn to you're dealing with now learning new ways of doing stuff, like as simple as medical, right? You're either going to the VA or you're going out in town and getting something different there, which is a completely different system. The VA is a whole beast in itself. So you're learning how to navigate that world and how to do that, and that is not an easy task either. And I've waited almost well, I got my first official appointment with the VA coming up, so I've waited over a year to actually do something about it. And maybe I was completely wrong in doing that. I would say, yeah, I was completely wrong in doing that. Now I had medical care other places as well, but I'm going to go in. I'm going to do the thing. It should be good. And now I'm going to learn this whole new system when it comes to the VA. And it's not always the easiest. easiest of tasks. Some VA places are really good, some are not as good. But I got to navigate that, and I'm probably going to need help. So it's not necessarily an easy thing. Even navigating the benefits, right? You put in for your VA claims, for disability, those types of things. That is not anything easy to do. And I don't care what anybody tells you. You know, it, it takes effort and it's stressful. It's just another thing piled on top. Man, I stress that forever. I'm still stressing a little bit, and but I mean, I'm in a much better place now with it. But there for a while, I was beginning to think, man, is this ever going to get done? So it's not easy, and just really just taking a step back to realize that what you've done over your life throughout your military career, you've done some amazing things. You've gone through some incredibly stressful times. You've gone to combat maybe, or you've done stuff in garrison that just incredibly stressful, taking units from point A to point B, and making sure that you're looking out for everybody's well-being, and counseling, and all those types of things is not easy. And we have survived it and we thrived in it. And then all of a sudden we're here and we don't have our buddies to the left or right. And that to me has been a huge, huge, huge um, thing. And it's been difficult for me to really grasp. But we have to seek help, we can't do everything on our own. And I think you probably realize that. Um, Going and seeking help. I mean, we did it in the military all the time. But for whatever reason, we're too proud. That would be me. Too proud to go and ask for help. Retired a master gunny. Why was a master gunny going to go out and ask for help? That's that's ridiculous, right? Not really. If you need help, you need help, and it's important to go out and ask for it. Um, Reach out to friends, reach out to family, you know, um, find some emotional support group, or go to veteran organizations. They're out there. I talked earlier about the Marine Corps League, right? Marine Corps League's out there. They can do some amazing things. They have some great programs, and just being able to sit with other veterans and talk and just kind of vent and those types of things is incredible. There's tons of veteran organizations that are out there. Get involved in them. You got the VFW, you got the American Legion, you got uh, the um, the Purple Heart. I can't remember the name of it, but it's for the Purple Hearts. There's so many different organizations that are out there, but get involved in one. Go say hi to them. Go to their meetings, and just get engrossed into everything that they're doing, and maybe that'll give you that dose of motivation to be able to get you through and help you persevere through things. And while you're doing that, you're building a network. Not only there, I mean, look at, and now online, it's one thing. I don't know, the whole online thing. I'm a little older, I guess, and it's a little weird and strange, but um, you can build. They have sites out there specifically for networking and things like that. But in my opinion, nothing beats getting off your butt and walking outside and going and talking to somebody, right? Um, Go out and make a network wherever you're living. I have a tendency to just sit here and do nothing, and not reach out to anybody and just sit here, and that's not healthy. And I'm realizing that, and hopefully I'll get better at it. We'll see. You never know. But I need to take my own advice. I need to get off my butt. I need to go out there and just say hi to folks in the community and say, "Hey, I'm here. I just want to introduce myself and start talking to people." And you never know when, something in that network, as you're meeting people and as you're talking to people, what will come of it. You never know. And that's something, that's one thing that we learned in the military. Whether you're an introvert or you're an extrovert, um, it didn't matter. You had to learn to be an extrovert. you had to go out and you had to get things done. And in order to get things done, you had to go outside of your norm, like if you're an introvert. Uh, and some people find that incredibly difficult. I don't like doing it, but I'm good at it. And I just got to remind myself of that. And I got to go out there and do it. Um, but as you're doing these transitions, don't forget all the skills that you learned while you were in. There's so many different things. Your communication skills, leadership skills, your ability to write documents, or whatever it is that you learned while you were in. That's all transferable. We just got to figure out how. And how do we figure out the how behind that? Well, we got to talk to people. Again, going back to that networking thing, uh, going back and talking to veterans who've already been through it and are over the hump and are doing really well. Go out and ask questions. Those individuals, they're going to talk to you. They're going to let you know, and they're going to help you through it. Reach out to me. I may not know the answer, but by gum, I'll find somebody. I know enough people. I just got to start asking the questions, and if I'm asking for you and for me, then great. But you got to go out there and you got to try and do it. Um, Shoot, how many of us? And this, I'm bad at this. I have not embraced lifelong education and learning and those types of things. I've been really bad at it. Now I've learned other things, but not in a sense of going to school and learning a trade or going to college or anything like that. Um, but maybe go out and do that. Maybe that's your ticket. Maybe that's the thing that helps push you through. And whether you go out and get a job doing those things or not, well, maybe that's just something that it gives you a edge on your own life to be able to go out and do things. But embrace that lifelong learning. The military talks about that all the time, and there's many of you that have taken them up on that and used the education, the Montgomery GI Bill and all that stuff post 9/11, and you guys have gone out there and done some amazing things, getting degrees, master's degrees, doctorates, all kinds of crazy stuff, man. You guys are rock stars way beyond what I'm doing here. But man, oh yeah, one of the things, what man, and I'm bad at this too, self-care. Uh, we're so used to taking care of other people and making sure everybody else is good, and we focus outboard all the time, focused out on helping others and things like that. We forget us. Those that reaching out and helping other people, that builds us up and it makes us feel better about what we're doing and gives us purpose. But now we're outside, we don't have that purpose anymore. But we have to remember, you got to take care of yourself. You got to go out and you got to prioritize your physical health, your mental health, your whatever it may be, to be able to get you over that hump, to be able to keep you pushing and keep you going and persevering through whatever challenges you have. But go out, play golf, or go fishing, or go work out in the gym if that's your thing. There's so many things out there, but just being able to go out. I mean, that was one of the great things about being in the military. Go out, go for a run, and we were required to do these things, but it's a stress reliever. Maybe go out and pick up boxing or pick up a martial art or something like that, and that might help you out. Who knows? Just some other ideas to be able to look and see, and try to keep your head in the game and be positive about stuff. Now, one of the things, and I needed to learn this, I got to set realistic goals. And I had this podcast and I started doing that, and I thought to myself, man, I'll get a sponsor and it'll be great, and this and that, and man, I'm telling you right now, I still don't have a daggum sponsor, somebody that's paying me money to continue the podcast. But through perseverance and continuing to reach out and continuing to do things, I ended up with a couple of ambassadorships, obviously the Marine Corps League, and the Till Valhalla Project. And that came from perseverance. That came from just dedication of going over and over and asking and asking and asking. And eventually, I got in contact with the right person, and that led to this ambassadorship, which has helped the podcast. It's helped push this even further than I thought. I won't say where I thought I wanted it to be, but I'm doing really well. And it just takes time. And I got to set realistic goals along the way. I tried to come out guns blazing, and I thought, man, it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to make some money, and I'm going to be able to do this podcast. It's going to be fantastic. And I come to find out that wasn't the case. It's basically me sitting here talking to you, interviewing people, and I'm doing it on my iPad, and I'm not, I don't have a studio, I don't have any of that stuff. So, I got to set those realistic goals, and I got to make sure that I'm doing that. Focusing on your strengths. We all have strengths. We've all learned different things over time and have gotten good at different things. What I may be good at, you may not be good at. And that's where that networking thing comes into play, right? I can call somebody and say, hey, look, I'm not very good at doing, editing, or I'm not very good at doing, coming up and doing papers and different things like that, whatever the case may be. And you reach out to a buddy, you reach out to somebody that you know that is good at it, and then they help you through it. And you have to know what your strengths are, and you have to go out and show people what your strengths are. um, and capitalizing on those strengths, excuse me, uh, that's going to do a couple things for you. It's going to build your confidence, and which is incredibly important. You don't want somebody walking in for a job and they look shy and timid and scared and those types of things. You're looking for somebody that's confident that can say, yeah, I can come in and do this, no problem you know but you got to build yourself up. So look for those strengths, look for those things that are going to really set you apart from your peers that are out there that are trying to do the same things. Of course, be patient. Man, that's a tough one, isn't it? Most of us in the military are not real patient, or at least I'm not. I get something in my head and I want to do it right now. I want it done right now. And unfortunately, that is not how it works. And it is hard for me to wait. Man, I do not like it. Um, I want people to move at the speed that I want to move. And that is not how it works. Um, in the military, you can kind of force it. When you're in a leadership position, you can give them deadlines, you can do different things. But here in the civilian sector, when you're dealing with other people, they don't move at the same rate of speed that you're used to. You can't give them a deadline and say, hey, you need to have this done by this time. It doesn't always work out. So you got to be patient, and know that you're going to have setbacks. It's going to happen, but you got to figure out a way to get past that. Talking to people, just like we talked about a second ago. Learning from your peers, learning from others that are out there that have done it before is probably one of the best things that you can do. And it's going to help in that transition. We just have to get past ourselves, get past the, oh, I was the one in charge, I was the one that people came to. uh, you know what, it doesn't matter. You can learn from anybody. You just got to humble yourself a little bit and go out and do it. So yeah, that's really, it was on my heart. I talked to somebody about it, and they mentioned this topic of discussion, and I thought, you know what, this is perfect because this is where I'm at right now, and this is something that I need to work on personally, and my perseverance and my drive. It gets slapped down every now and again. And I need to be able to persevere. I need to be able to push through. I'm doing this podcast for the long haul, whether you like it or not. I'm going to be here, dag nabbit. And so I'm here. But don't be afraid. We all struggle. Uh, don't be scared to ask for help. Whether that's reaching out to me, I'll help you as best I can. Can't guarantee that I'll solve a problem, but by gum, I'll help. Um, and I know I'm going to be reaching out as well. But with that, that's really what I wanted to talk about today. But perseverance, man, we gotta live it, and we have to go back to where the things that we're good at, and remind ourselves that, hey, we are not dirt bags. We can actually get things done we can persevere through whatever challenges that may come up. And it's not easy. It's not easy. We all have those times where we feel bad and we get down on ourselves, depression or anxiety or PTSD or whatever it is that we're dealing with. Um, it's tough. It's very tough, and I've talked to people, I don't understand how somebody could get to a point that they want to hurt themselves. They want to, just end it. Uh, I can see it. I can see it. Uh, you struggle and you start getting into the spiral and you just kind of start going down. It's like a toilet when you flush it and you see it, and that's what you feel like your life is doing sometimes. It's like, man, I can't get out of this whirlpool of a toilet that's taking me down to the sewer, and it's tough, but again, you can do it. You can reach out for help, just like I can do it. I can reach out for help. And maybe that's going, and maybe I need to go talk to a therapist or something. Maybe I need to, I've got that VA appointment coming up. I'm going to sit down and talk to them and say, hey, these are some things that I struggle with, and hopefully they can help me. Maybe they'll set me up with a therapist or somebody to talk to, somebody that can help slap me around a little bit and get me out of this fog that I'm in. But I can see how people can get to that point. I'm not to that point right now, but I think if it continued, and I could easily see how I could get to that point. So you got to reach out for help. You got to say something. The VA does have those great resources out there that you can use, and I encourage you. If you can't reach out to your buddies, you can't reach out to somebody, and you feel like they can't help you, at least call the helpline, right? You can always dial 988, press option 1. Go to veteranscrisisline.net, click on the chat icon. You can text them 838-255. Any of those options, but you got to reach out for help. If you're out there, you're not struggling. You've been through all this, but you've persevered and you were able to come out the other side and things are going fantastic for you. That's great. That's awesome. I'm glad that things are going well for you. Reach out to those that may be struggling. Ask them how they're doing. Say hi to them. With those buddies that you served with, just reaching out every now and again just to say, hey, I was thinking about you. I miss you, man, or love you. Or I know it's difficult for us in the military to say love you and stuff, but reach out and say it. It goes a long ways. It really does mean something when somebody says, hey, man, I care about you. Um, it goes a long ways. So if you're out there and you're doing fantastic, reach out to those buddies you served with. Ask them how they're doing. Give them that helping hand. All right. With that, I think I'm going to wrap it up. This one's short, sweet, to the point, and hopefully I gave you some food for thought. Um, Here we are. Perseverance. We're going to persevere. We're going to get through this. We're going to do it together. We're going to reach out. We're going to get some help. We're going to do the things that we need to do to persevere and become successful and just, I'm talking smash this second life that we have after the military. All right. Everybody out there, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me run my mouth for a little bit. I enjoy doing these. Hopefully, it helps somebody out there. But if not, I guess it helps me. And hey, that's better than nothing, I suppose. If you're out there and you think of anything that you would like to hear me discuss or talk about, please reach out. Let me know. Don't forget to try to download an episode every day. It helps with my numbers and those types of things. But there are some incredible episodes that are out there, some incredible stories that are out there. And if you're out there, you want to tell your story, by all means, reach out to me. You can always email me, uh, the lost art with Andrew Cox at gmail.com. You can always do that. But yeah, shoot me a message on Facebook or whatever way you see me on those social media platforms. Reach out, shoot me a message. I'll try my best to keep up with all that stuff. But yeah, I'm always looking for somebody to come on and tell their story. So your story is important. Whether you served 2 years or whether you served 35, it does not matter. Your story is important. And I'm trying to archive as many of them as I possibly can. And I know there are many, many podcasters out there that are doing the same thing. And I appreciate what they're doing. And let's get everybody's story recorded. Every veteran needs to have their story recorded. All right. With that, stay motivated, change your socks.